Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to continue to talk about The Notebook. That's right, The Notebook, that piece of shit romantic fucking movie from 2004, the one that I fucking hate. Okay, it's not one of the best movies ever made. I did not watch it when it first came out. I watched it later on. I think I was with a girl and we rented it at Blockbuster or some shit like that. Anyway, I was very disappointed with the movie because apparently a lot of you women out there really love this movie. I mean, it's the movie that made Ryan Gosling famous. You got to remember, before this movie, Ryan Gosling was fucking Young Hercules, the TV show. Okay, that's what Ryan Gosling was. Okay, and this movie, and he was a Musketeer too. Okay, and this movie propelled him to the stratosphere, which he still enjoys today. Okay, and Rachel McAdams, same thing. I mean, she was the girl from Mean Girls. You know, she was in The Hot Chick with Rob Schneider, and this movie made her a leading lady, which she still is today. Not as successful as Ryan Gosling is, but she's still around today. Okay, so this is the movie that basically made them into a thing. Okay, and it had a lot of influence on culture. Okay, a lot of women love this movie. Is real romantic and shit. And for a genre that's pretty dated. Okay, the idea of the romantic movie. I mean, that shit today. That shit goes straight to the fucking Hallmark Channel, or some sort of streaming show. They don't really make serious romantic movies anymore. Not in Hollywood anyway. You got to go out of your way to find one now. Okay, they don't make a lot of money. Excuse me. Damn, I sneezed. They don't make a lot of money, and most of that stuff just goes to streaming. You watch lots of romantic movies on Netflix and stuff. And Bollywood, India, they're doing a lot of romantic movies over there, more so than here. Okay, so the romantic genre is pretty much fucking dead. Okay, it's all erotica now. Okay, pretty much, and rom-coms are still around, unfortunately. All right, so this movie, The Notebook here. For those of you who have not seen my channel, what I do here is I give you a straight man's point of view. Okay, I do not censor myself, so if you're easily offended, if you're easily triggered, you get the fuck out right now. Okay, I will not censor myself to spare your feelings. I don't know you, okay, but I got nothing to gain my line to you. So I'm gonna tell you the honest God truth. Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna give it to you straight up, baby, with no lube. No lube. And now the real question you need to ask yourself is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Because that's what I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give you a straight dose of truth, baby. And then you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. Okay, anyway, the point is that I give you a straight man's point of view. I'm gonna talk to you the way a normal guy, a heterosexual guy, yes, heterosexual guy, okay, what he thinks about these characters, this movie, the situations, the chemistry, all that kind of shit. That's what I do here, okay? And this movie gave me a lot of material, okay? So let's get started. Now, where I left off last time, you got Old Noah, played by James Garner. Yeah, Rockford Files, James Garner. And we got Gina Rollins playing Old Allie. Okay, Gina Rollins is, of course, the director of this movie's mom. He put his mom in the movie. Yeah, Nick Cassavetes' mom is Gina Rollins, okay? And she plays Old Allie, okay? Now, she's got dementia, basically Alzheimer's disease, okay? So she's losing her memory, okay? Every day she forgets who she is, what her name is. She doesn't recognize this old man that's reading to her every day named Duke. It's actually her husband. And this movie's all about how they first met back in the 1940s and how they fell in love and all that kind of shit, right? So he's living in the nursing home too to take care of her, and he reads to her from a fucking notebook every day to get about how they met each other, about their love story. Okay, and he does that to get her to finally remember him again. Okay, even if it's just for a few minutes. Okay, this story gets her. If she thinks about the story long enough, then she'll remember who she really is. She'll remember that this man's her husband, that she's got kids with him, how they fell in love, all that kind of shit. All right, because like I said, she's forgetting it. All right, she's losing her memory. Now, the doctor's already told him that it's pointless to keep reading to her these stories. She's never going to regain her memory. Okay, it's a degenerative disease, what she has, her early senility. So she's not going to get better. She's just going to get worse. And eventually, she's never going to remember who you are. And she's never going to remember anything about her past life. Okay, but, old man Noah, he doesn't give a shit. He's like, science can only go so far, and then God steps in, that kind of thing. That's his belief system. So basically, he's already given his entire life up to be with her, okay, to stay with her and help take care of her. That's the meaning of his life now, okay, which would be a very admirable thing, okay. I would look up to a man like that. Okay, this guy decided he's going to be with his sweetheart, okay, because she's sick right now and she needs him, okay. He's going to be with her till the end. That would be romantic, and normally I would applaud that, but unfortunately, he was that fucking way before she ever got sick, okay. He's always been that way, even when she wasn't fucking around. Even when he hadn't seen her in fucking 7 years, he was still sitting on his ass with his thumb all the way up his butt, waiting for her to fucking show up in his life again. Okay, to me, that's a waste of life. Okay, that's a waste of life. That's nothing to applaud. That's something to be proud of. That's a waste of fucking life, okay? And unfortunately for me, his character's written that way. He's a woman. He's not a man. He's a woman. You know why? Because the author of this book, okay, that they based the movie on was a fucking woman, okay, pretending to be a man. Pretending he doesn't know what a fucking man is, does not know how to write men. Okay, I did not read this book, but I did read Dear John. That's a movie. That's a book that they also turned into a movie with Channing Tatum and Amanda Seyfried. I read that fucking book by Nicholas Sparks, and that when I was in the military, so this would have been right up my alley. You know, military romances. Okay, no, it was a fucking pathetic piece of shit, just like this movie is. The men and don't act like men. All right. So where we left off here, okay. He's talking to her out there in the nursing home. That's where they live now. Okay, in a nursing home. They're out there in the garden or the field there. And the nurse arrives and tells both of them that, hey, his grandkids are here to see him. Not her grandkids, his grandkids. Okay, his family, his kids are here to see him. Okay, so the kids show up. Okay, it's basically, it's 3 adults and 2 little kids. Okay, the 2 women are named Maggie and Mary Allen. And the man is named Edmund. Okay, and the 2 little kids are named Devaney and Noah Jr., which should be a clue right there. Okay, should be a clue. Okay, but no, she doesn't pick up on it at all. Well, they don't say the little boy's name. All right, but she hugs them. They hug her, you know, and they're polite to her. Say, hey, I'm Mary Ellen. Hi, hello, I'm Maggie. And who's that man over there? And Noah says, oh, that's Edmund. You know. Okay. Well, she's nice to them, you know, and she's shocked that the little boy hugs her. You know, when she hugs him back, you know, she's pleasantly surprised, okay? But she looks around, she gets confused looking at them, and finally she tells them, well, I think I'm gonna go take my nap right now, okay? And the nurse walks her out of there, okay? So that leaves the adults, the 2 kids, and old Noah sitting there, okay? And she says, you know, before Allie leaves, she tells them all, hey, I'm so happy to meet you all. And they're just silence. They're just like, there's this uncomfortable silence. They all just look at her nicely, but then nobody says anything. Okay, so she excuses herself, okay, to go take a nap. All right, okay, and then once old Noah is alone with the adults there, Maggie, the oldest woman there, she says she seems good today, Dad, and that's how we find out in the movie that these are his kids and these are her kids. Okay, she doesn't remember them. Okay, she says she seems good today, Dad, and Noah says, well, you know, she was good today. She is doing good today. Maybe today is a good day for a miracle, you know. And Mary Allen, the youngest woman there, she says, Daddy, you need to come home. Okay, Mama doesn't know us. Okay, she doesn't recognize you. Okay, and she will never understand, you know. And then Maggie says, like, we miss you, Dad. Okay, this is it's crazier for you to live here, you know. And Edmund, the son says, you know, we'll all help with Mom, Dad. We will all help take care of her. We'll take turns. We'll take shifts visiting her. And old Noah, he says, like, hey, you know, I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate it, okay? But that's my sweetheart up there, all right? Okay, and I'm not leaving her. Okay, this is my home now. Okay, your mother is my home now. You know, and that's a metaphor. That's a metaphor for the house that he built with his own hands. Him and his dad built that house. It was a dream house for him. It was a beat up fucking fire trap house called the Windsor Plantation. He took Allie there when they were young, when they first met each other, to fuck, but it didn't happen. Okay, but it almost happened. So, you know, he told her his dream was to buy this property and rebuild the entire house himself. You know, that's what he told her he was going to do a long time ago. Okay, so that house, ever since then, that house was a metaphor for Allie. It was a substitute for Allie. He was taking care of the house because Allie wasn't there for him to take care of her, so he took care of the house instead. Which is a bullshit narrative, because you got to remember, he loved this house before he ever met Allie. Okay, he always wanted to rebuild his house before you knew who the fuck Allie was. Okay, but he turned the house into Allie. Okay, he finally did rebuild the house. It took like what, 6 months to do it. However long it took for her to get to her fiance to ask her to marry him to the week before the wedding. Okay, during that time he built the whole fucking house with his own 2 hands, and his father died during that time. Okay. But the house is a metaphor for Allie, okay? So that's what he says, like, your mother is my home. Well, she's always been your fucking home. Even when she wasn't there, she was your home, okay? So I get the metaphor. I get what they're trying to say here, okay? But still, to me, it's a waste of life, okay? He should not have even considered getting back with her again, okay? Until he put her away. He should have like gotten rid of her a long time ago. Put that part of his life to rest before he even went to World War II. And if not, if he couldn't do that, then he should have fucking looked her up, okay? It would have been very easy for him to find out where she lived. Okay, it would have been very easy for her if she loved him as much as she says she did. She knows where he lives. Okay, she knows how to get in touch with him. All she has to do is call her friend. They live in the same town as him and say, hey, yo, whatever happened to that Noah guy? She said, oh, I'll give you his number or that kind of shit. Okay, but that never happened. They never just fucking called each other or wrote each other. Well, he wrote letters to her, okay, but she never wrote him a letter and she knew his address too, bitch. You never fucking wrote him either. Why? Your mom can't intercept the outgoing mail. You see what I mean? So this movie's got way too many fucking plot holes. But anyway, so he tells him that. All right. So now we go back to the past, okay? You got young Allie, okay, and she gets a call. She gets home. Oh, not home. She gets to her hotel room. There's only one hotel in Seabrook, North Carolina, okay? And her fiance, she did tell her fiance that she was going to go to Seabrook, North Carolina. She didn't tell him what for. She left it ambiguous, and he didn't fucking ask because he's not a fucking man. Okay, he didn't ask her. He said, okay, take care of what you got to do, okay? So the phone's ringing when she gets to her hotel room, and it's her fiance. It's Lon, okay? He's been calling all night. He's been wondering why she hasn't been there to answer the phone, you know? There's only one fucking hotel in the whole town, so that's the one he's been calling. Okay, he was worried about her, okay? And he tells her, is there anything you want to tell me? Which is a stupid fucking question. It's an open-ended question. He gets the same type of questions he said fucking before she left. When she told him she was going to leave, she didn't ask him. She told him, hey, I'm going to go to Seabrook, North Carolina for a while and settle some things or, straighten some things out. And he just said like, okay, was there something wrong? She's like, no. He's like, okay, should I be worried? She's like, no. He's like, okay then, go ahead, take your time. I'm not going to even assume that you're going to fuck another guy. Of course not, So he doesn't ask the hard questions. And the reason he doesn't do that is because this movie doesn't want him to ask those questions. Because if he asks those questions, okay, then Allie is going to have to lie to him. Okay. And once Allie starts lying to her fiance, we lose sympathy with her. Okay. We lose sympathy with her. Okay. So we got to make him a dumbass. Okay. Who would never even suspect that his girlfriend went to go fuck another guy. Even though he kind of acts like that might be the case, He asked her before she left. He asked her. He's like, "Hey, should I be worried?" And she's like, "No, I don't think so. No." And he's like, "Well, that's reassuring." Well, exactly, but he didn't follow through with that. He just told her, "Okay, go ahead, do it. That's fine. I'll be here and I'll wait for you. Take care of what you got to do. I get it. Women get cold feet right before a wedding. I understand. No problem. I've been there. That kind of bullshit. And it's the same thing here on the phone call. He tells her, "Hey, it's like, hey, is there anything you want to tell me?" And she's like, oh, no, I don't want to say no. Then he's like, well, okay then. You have a good time while you're there. She's like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. He's like, okay, you can talk to me tomorrow. That's fine. I will not ask any more questions as to what you're doing there and why I had to call you 10 times before you answer the phone tonight. He doesn't ask her who she was with or anything like that. Are you there for another guy? He didn't even ask that stuff before she left. Is there some guy you got to go meet or something? He didn't ask these questions. A normal man would have asked these questions. I know I sure as fuck would have. Some bitch came up to me that I was engaged to. She came to my office, interrupted my meeting to tell me that she wants to go away for a few days by herself to straighten some things out. The only thing you're going to straighten out is this fucking cock. All right? I would have said, okay, if that's really what you want to do, have fun. Meanwhile, I'll call off the wedding. I'll tell you and your fucking family to go to fucking hell. Okay? And you're going to pay me back for all the fucking money I already spent on this fucking piece of shit, worthless, fucking useless wedding on the fucking whore that I thought that I accidentally asked to marry me. Okay? So give me the fucking ring and get the fuck out of my life. That's what I would have told her, and that's really how it would have gone down. But, this movie was written by a man with a vagina. Okay? So, of course, that's not how it's going to go down here. Okay, and like I said, he calls her and he says, is there anything I need to worry about? She's like, no. He's like, okay, that's fine. That's good enough for me. Okay, just call me tomorrow night. That's fine. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Men do not act this way. Okay, not a guy like this. Okay, this guy's a high value man. Okay, this isn't some fucking guy working at a fucking McDonald's. Okay, wondering what happened to his girlfriend. All right, no, this is a fucking multi-millionaire who owns a fucking cotton manufacturing factory or business, whatever. Okay, he's very well known. Okay, this guy's like upper class, fucking, practically royalty. North Carolina royalty. Okay, his ancestors owned slaves. Okay, he's that type of a guy. Okay, so he wouldn't stand up for this. Okay, he wouldn't tolerate a woman doing this to him. Okay, fucking him over this way. I still do not understand what he fell in love with her for. She gives him nothing, absolutely nothing, but he keeps wanting more. It makes no fucking sense to me. Okay, if this was me, I would be able to tell, hey, this girl's not really there when I'm around. She's polite, she laughs at my jokes, but she's not really there. I don't know anything about her. She doesn't show anything about her. She has no quirks. Okay, she has no idiosyncrasies. She has no imperfections that I can see. Why? She has them, of course, but she ain't gonna show it to him. That's a red flag. She can't be herself around him. She can't joke around him. Okay? Now around Noah, she used to treat him like shit, and she used to act herself because she knew that Noah had less money than her. He was from a lower social status. So she could afford to fucking slap him in the face. She already knows he ain't gonna do better than her. Financially, anyway. He ain't gonna do better than her. There's not a line of fucking rich girls waiting to go out with Noah. Okay, she's like the only one. All right. So instead, that would make her think that it's okay to fucking hit him, to tell him off, to throw things at him, to tell him to go to hell, so she could act her way around him, because he doesn't even give a shit about himself. He's not gonna stand up for himself. Not around her. Okay, or anyone for that matter, as far as I can see. We don't ever see him in conflict with anybody except for her. Okay, so he asks a stupid ass question, okay, open-ended questions, okay, and then she says, I love you, I'll call you tomorrow, very, very realistic. Okay, so of course the next day, Allie does go to Noah's house in the morning. He's there listening to his jazz music like he always did, inside his tool shed where he makes things, he makes furniture in there and stuff. You can see some of the work that he did, okay? And he tells her, he's like, hey, we gotta get going because the rain is starting to come. I want to get on the river before the rain shows up, okay? So they get on a canoe, and he's rowing her in the canoe. He doesn't say shit. He doesn't fucking like to talk for some reason. He's just, this is the girl you've been waiting for 7 years, right? I'll be asking her all sorts of fucking questions, Instead, he's just, like it's just another fucking day, Like the girl you've been obsessing about for 7 years isn't sitting right across from you on the same fucking boat, He shows no emotion, no nothing, all right? So Noah wants to take her canoeing, okay? And then before the rain shows up, okay, there's lots of ducks there in the pond that they're in, the river they're in. There's lots and lots of ducks. Now, Allie already has a fascination with ducks. We see in the very beginning of the movie, she was old lady Allie. She was staring at these ducks flying away over the pond from the nursing home that she was living in. Okay, she was obsessing with these ducks. Okay, later on in the movie, when she's young, she goes to the beach with Noah. Okay, and there's all these ducks there, and she's screaming about the ducks and playing with the ducks. And she's like, "Hey, you know what? I was a bird in the past life. I was a bird. I'm talking about reincarnation. How about you? Were you a bird too? Tell me. Say you were a bird. Say you were a bird. Say you were a bird." And he's like, "If you're a bird, then I'm a bird. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit nonsense." And that's the kind of man that Noah is. He's a fucking simp to the end. Whatever you say, so sweetheart. If that's what you want, then I want it too. Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of bullshit you get from this fucking movie, man. There's no men in this movie. No fucking men. All right. So now we got the ducks are there, and then they start talking about the ducks because they don't want to talk, because she doesn't want to talk about how they're going to fuck later on in the day, because we know that's what's coming, okay? And she knows it, and he knows it. But they're just going to go through the pleasantries and pretend that the ducks are fucking important, all right? So Noah's there, and she says that it's like a dream, and he tells her, you want to feed him, Okay, so she does, okay? And I say, and she says, you know what, Noah? The way you look, everything about you is different. He's like, yeah. He went to the fucking Brad Pitt School of Hygiene. Okay, he's got the unshaven look. Okay, the hair that hasn't been shampooed in 2 fucking weeks. The same clothes he's been wearing every day for 2 weeks. That's what he looks like right now. Okay, he doesn't fucking look attractive at all. Okay, he looks like a fucking guy who fucking sleeps in his clothes and just woke up. Okay, like I said, Brad Pitt from the 90s. Hell, even today, Brad Pitt, like he fucking he cornered that look. He copyrighted that look. All right. So yeah, he owns it now. Okay, you can't fucking steal it from him. Okay. Yeah, basically he looks like he needs a fucking shower. All right. Okay, but he's there, and she says, you know what? You look the way you look. Everything about you is different. And Noah says either, well, you look different too. In a good way. In a good way. Like, you don't know what the fuck to say. And then she says, but you're also still kind of the same. So what the fuck is the point of this conversation? What is the fucking point here? Why am I watching this stupid ass exchange? You look really different. Well, so do you. And you also look the same too. Well, what the fuck? Why'd you even bring it up then? This is stupid. Now I can understand that, like, realistically this could happen in real life. But if you're making a movie about the romance, you need to leave that shit out. Okay, that's just pointless and stupid. It's redundant. It doesn't mean anything. Anyway. Yeah, like I said, a very productive conversation. All right. And she tells him, you know, what you did with the house, it's beautiful. He's like, well, Allie, you know, I promised you that I would. Okay, and of course, and then it starts to thunderstorm. You hear the thunder come in, they're like, oh shit, we gotta get out of here. Okay, well, why the fuck would you take her canoeing, all right, when you knew there was a thunderstorm coming? Okay, so it starts the thunderstorm, so they gotta head back. All right, of course, it gets dark, okay, and then it starts, before they make it back to dock, it starts raining hard. Okay, and she tries to cover up her head with her I guess her jacket or something, and he just laughs at her like, like that's gonna do anything. Okay, the rain is coming down like a fucking faucet, and this little jacket's not gonna keep her dry. Okay, so he starts laughing about that, and then she starts laughing about that in the fucking rain. Okay, and then of course they crescendo the music right now. Yeah, like a very Karate Kid style. Okay. Okay, and they get soaked. Okay, they start laughing out loud. Okay, and you see the lightning bolt in the background, you know, that kind of shit. So then finally they get back to port. They're soaking wet. She gets off first. He pulls the canoe out of the water. Okay, they're soaking wet. It's raining like crazy. And then Allie runs up to him. And she says, like, why didn't you write me? It wasn't over for me. I waited for you for 7 years. And now it's too late. And then Noah, soaking wet too. I wrote you 365 letters every day for a year. It wasn't over for me either. And it's still not over. Oh my fucking God. And then of course, you know what happens next. Okay. Now, just me on a personal note, you know, I think most of us have been there. You know what it's like. I had an old girlfriend in the 90s and we split up. It wasn't because I didn't love her. I just, there was nothing going on in my life, and I knew I couldn't really provide for her the way she needed it, the way that she deserved. So we split up. And she got married right away after that. And to me, that was the end. That was the end of it, And then, she found me. She found me later. She found me later, like in the late 2000s. And we reconnected again. We saw each other again. Okay, and of course, all those old feelings came back. So I know what these characters are going through. It was longer for me, though. I think for me, it was more like 13 or 14 years before I saw her again, spoke to her, heard her voice again, And we were much older now and stuff, but the feelings were still there. That was the weirdest part, is the feelings were still there. Like once I saw her again after 14 years, it had been like nothing had changed, but everything had changed. We were older now. We weren't kids anymore. And so I know what that's like, and I know what it's like to feel that, to feel what Noah's feeling right now. Like she came back to me. She's back to me. But you gotta learn to put those feelings where they belong. You know, they belong in the past. That's where they were. You know, now if something were to start up now, that would be different. Okay, but you got to remember, okay, Allie's married. Oh, well, not married, but she's about to get married. Okay, she's moved on with her life. He didn't. He didn't move on. He just got a fuck buddy. That's not moving on. Okay, realistically, he would have gotten married by now. He would have had kids by now. This whole fucking reunion never would have taken place. Not this way. Okay, but the movie ain't gonna go there. Okay, because you know you got to sympathize with the girl. You got to sympathize with Noah as well. So they're not gonna do that. Okay, but I do know what it's like to have all those feelings come back to you and just like boom, you know, like you never left. You know, and I remember I had a similar conversation with her. You know, she told me how she'd been trying to find me for years. You know, and I was like, I looked for you too. I did look for her. You know, I went back to her mom's condo. You know, she wasn't there anymore. She didn't live there anymore. You know, and I tried to find out what happened to her. I tried to find out her friends. I tried to find out whatever happened to her. You know, and I couldn't. Yeah, it was disappointing. You know, and it hurt. It hurt a lot because I missed her and I regretted how we split up. I didn't want it to be over. I wanted her to come back to me. You know. But the difference between me and Noah is I actually did move on with my life. I dated other women, okay? I fell in love again. I met other people. I had other experiences, okay? So I'd done a lot of things already, you know? But later on, you know, like, you know, 13 or 14 years later, there wasn't really anyone in my life at that time. Then all of a sudden she shows up and, you know, all of a sudden, you know, it was like those feelings just came back, you know? So I totally understand, you know? And you know, although in my case, even though we connected again many years later, you know, we drifted apart again. But the difference was we did stay in touch this time. Okay, this time we did stay in touch, and to this day, I'm still friends with her. And if you're watching, please don't comment. All right, and you know why. Okay. But you know, and I'm still friends with her today. You know, to this very day, I can call her right now. Yeah, that's how long we've known each other. So, yeah, absolutely. You know, I understand what they're going through. I understand what those feelings are like, okay? But they belong in a certain place. You know, we can't go back in time. This isn't Back to the Future. You can't go back in time and undo the things that already happened, okay? You have to accept what has happened and move on with your life, okay? That's something these two characters did not do. The problem is that, and realistically in real life, when two people don't do that, they waste their lives. Okay, hoping for a phantom to come that's never going to show up. But because this is a movie written by a man with a vagina, that's not going to happen here. Okay, it's going to be worth it for them to fucking to sit on their asses for 7 years and wait for each other to come back into their lives. Okay, that's a good thing in this movie. Okay, in real life, not so much. No. Okay, so of course they're kissing, they're making out. Okay, in the rain, he takes her back to his house. Okay, and they start undressing themselves right there in front of the stairway. Okay, he fucking she mounts him. He picks her up and she mounts him. You know, he's taking off his shirt, she's taking off her bra. He picks her up and goes up 2 flights of stairs while he's holding her ass cheeks in his hands. Okay, her feet never touch the floor the entire time. You know, and I say that's a strong guy. I mean, I've done that myself. Okay. But I'm sorry, but Ryan Gosling doesn't look as strong as me. Okay, I'm a lot stronger than Ryan Gosling. Okay, and even that would be difficult for me to do. Okay, the entire time I'm making out with her, I'm not even looking at the floor or anything like that. You know, that would be a little bit more difficult. Okay, than what this movie portrays it as. I'm pretty sure he used a stunt double to do that. Okay, but yeah, that's what happens. By the time he gets in bed, he takes off her pantyhose. Yeah, girls wore pantyhose back in the day. He takes it off and then he just goes to town. Okay. So of course they start fucking doing it right there. Okay, it's supposed to be a very sexy, erotic scene, but not so much. It's just these two people that missed each other, and then they saw each other, and they felt, you know, and all those feelings came back to each other, you know. So that's going on here. Okay, they're not fucking standing, you know, 30 feet away from each other, taking turns taking off their clothes, you know, doing that bullshit anymore. Okay. Say fuck, Allie has an orgasm, which tells me that she's never had an orgasm before. Okay, did she fuck Lon, her fiance? I don't think she did, because remember, this is the 40s, this is the late 40s. Okay, a lot of women, especially women from high class families, okay, their virtue was protected. Okay, they did wait to have sex. Okay, now the poor people, the ruffians about, you know, yeah, they fuck just like they do today. Okay, but the richer upper class people, you know, you were expected, women were expected to hold their virtue a lot longer than they are today. That shit doesn't exist anymore. But back then, it was, for some families, it was important. it was important that women stay virgins until they get married. Okay. So yeah, I think Noah popped her cherry. If she didn't pop her cherry, then Lon did, but he wasn't any good at it. Okay, so she has her first orgasm. She says, "Oh my God, I don't believe it. This is what I've been missing. Let's do it again." And she jumps on him again and wants to mount him some more. Hey, I've been there too. Okay, I know. I've done some marathons. Okay, in that bed, in a bed. Okay, I know what it's like. All right. Okay, but she apparently is not used to it. She's never had an orgasm before. Now, I don't know what the fuck he did. Did he eat her out? I mean, I don't know. We didn't see it. We just know that she's happy with Noah, okay? And she's like, oh, so that's what I was missing? Let's do it again, okay? And you never, my guess is that she never fucked Lon or anybody else, or she did fuck him, but he was no good. I mean, who knows, okay? He gets fucked over in every movie that he's in, you know? He always plays the simp, the guy that gets fucked over. So, you know, but why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he, you know? Okay, so that's going on here, okay? She wants to go again, but, you know, Noah, he's tired, you know, and he's hungry. He's like, oh, you're going to kill me, woman. I need to get my strength back. All right? He's like, how's some pancakes, baby? How about some pancakes? Pancakes and bacon. Yeah. And some chicken. Yeah, I got some chicken downstairs. Yeah, you know. So he tells her that, okay? And then all of a sudden, Allie hears somebody at the front door, okay? And who is it? It is Martha. Martha, who is Noah's girlfriend. Okay, she's knocking on the door. And of course, she saw Allie's car there in front of his house. And she's knocking on the door. Uh-oh, yeah, I've been there too. Okay, so anyway, I will continue my story and the story from the movie in the next video. I thank you for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.